Hello, dear friends. I think this transformation is being implemented slowly and quietly, without big sensationalist headlines, but the change is evident if you look for the hidden signs. The year of the rabbit rewards past sacrifices according to Chinese tradition. There is an eerie silence. Opinion piece. The door of heart. Free yourself from your mental prison. Gateway to higher dimensions. Gateway to dream space. Common currency for South America. Russia starts buying yuan. We are approaching first contact. Let's start. The heart is a gateway to higher dimensions according to Steve Biko. The heart is another one of those things that is very difficult to define, understand or communicate, but it is something very essential. This topic seems sappy or sentimental, but it is actually very serious in order to achieve the spiritual development necessary to transcend the three-dimensional world. The heart has long been identified as the center of the whole body, the seat of life, emotion, reason, will, intellect, purpose of mind. The heart is an emblematic symbol in various faiths and takes on the meaning of truth, conscience or moral value in many spiritual traditions. The temple of throne of God in Islamic and Judeo-Christian thought. The divine center or Atma and transcendent wisdom in Hinduism. The diamond of purity and essence of the Buddha. The Taoist center of understanding. The heart is represented by a diamond as our most precious treasure, because it is as strong as the diamond, but at the same time as fragile it can only be destroyed by another diamond. Superman would be the most obvious artistic example, with his heart full of happiness in the shape of a diamond, with a yellow background under the S. Tradition. For the ancient Egyptians, the heart was the seat of emotion, thought, will and intention. It was conceived as a survivor of death in the nether world, where it would give evidence for or against its possessor. The heart was thought to be examined by Anubis and a variety of deities during the ceremony of the weighting of the heart, in which the heart of the deceased was placed on a two-armed scale on one side and the feather of mud on the other palm, symbolizing the ideal standard of behavior. If the scales balanced, it meant that the holder of the heart had lived a righteous life and could enter the afterlife. If the heart was heavier, it would be devoured by the monster Amit. The heart also played a very important role in the Aztec belief system. In Catholicism, there has been a long tradition of veneration of the heart, derived from the worship of the wonder of Jesus Christ, which gained popularity for the mid-16th century. This tradition influenced the development of medieval Christian devotion of the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the parallel veneration of Immaculate Heart of Mary, popularized by John Eudes. The expression broken heart is a common metaphor referring to the immense emotional pain or suffering that manifests itself after the loss of a loved one, whether through death, divorce, separation, betrayal, or romantic rejection. Openness. Hridaya means in Sanskrit mind or soul, which would be the seat of emotion. One of the things I don't think is understood about the heart is that the door of the heart is, or Hridaya, is a portal to higher dimensions. The heart gate is first opened in an experience of the fourth Kundalini chakra. But the fact that we can travel to different dimensions through the door of the heart is still something that is not discussed in literature. It is the immediate knowledge not only of love, not only of the individual essence, but of the divine essence. We tend to think of the opening of the heart and its consequences as three-dimensional experiences of the fourth chakra. But once inside Hridayam, we enter the higher dimensions. The love and bliss we experience thereafter is not from the fourth chakra, but from the seventh to the ninth dimension. I hope that at some point we will have the physicality or the technology to study the heart. The opening event may have involved the fourth chakra in the third dimension, but it opened to a world that was seventh to ninth dimensional. Dream space. There are two ways to live your life. One as if nothing is a miracle, and one as if everything is a miracle. We are living in two worlds, not one. The old world is one of systems, logic, and control, which strangles the use of life. It is a reality far beyond its expiry date, essentially because it is divorced from the flow. There is another world of mystery, miracles, and magic, where everything has a deeper meaning and purpose. This is what is called the dream space. In fact, it is much more real and much more satisfying than reality. The dream space is one in which the movement of the divine energy is beginning to break down old constructs and reshape new ones for the purpose of education, exploration, and further evolutionary growth. It is seeking and manifesting the possibility of higher harmony, serving all life in co-creation. This is why the dreamscape is more real than reality, because it addresses what reality is already becoming. It feels as if all of life is celebrating with you, singing and serenading with you in a way that appreciates your own nature. Mental prison. Free yourself from your mental prison by Raquel Houghton White. It is still a battle to fight this wave of social programming that is happening to us. However, I think there is good news in all of this. It's gotten to the point where it's about as bad as it gets. There is a backlash against it, a movement to come back to earth, live more simply, become more self-sufficient, and disconnect from the programming. Create a space to rest your mind. Become aware of your negative thought patterns by training yourself to become the observer of your experience. Access a source of pure love greater than yourself. Work on your stuff. Deepen your fears. Dig into your limiting beliefs. Uncover your self-defeating thoughts. Other important pieces are to get out in nature, find joy and have fun, help those in need, and be with community and friends. And just be kind to yourself. We are at the point where it seems this is no longer an option. It is a must. It's time to live the life we deserve to live. We have no more time to waste. We have suffered for too long, and our suffering has led us to cause the suffering of others, including animals and our planet. The old ways of protesting and fighting no longer work. The only way we can survive this time is if we change our way of thinking and change our core. What will save us will be to connect with our spirit, with the light within and around us all. The Arcturian Council 9D says we are approaching first contact. In quotes, the energies coming in are a great support to bring you into the galactic era, the period of time when humankind officially joins the galactic community, and you will be able to have full and open ET contact. That means you will receive healings, upgrades, downloads, and everything you can imagine to help you prepare for contact. Reset news. Weather manipulation is believed to be the cause of the recent cold snap. A startup company will sell carbon credits to release chemicals above the clouds to reverse global warming, according to Josh Eaton. No one of note showed up at the annual Davos meeting in Switzerland last May for fear of being arrested. Rolling blackouts on the US East Coast and power outages exceed 1 million. Southwest Airlines is recalling all flights for the next few days. Major airlines issue warning to all passengers as cancellations continue. The dark side is panicking. People are waking up, and that is their biggest fear. That is why they have been censoring or trying to control the narrative. The White Hats have set many traps for the puppeteers, and they seem to fall for every one of them. The motive of the traps is to expose their agenda and show the truth to the people. This would be the biggest covert operation we have ever seen. We are in an information war, and the good guys are winning. Storm Rider. The Storm Rider and Juan Osavin foresee a blackout with EBS, nuclear threat with sirens, military in the streets and martial law as a necessary fear event in quotes. The event is biblical. There is going to be a big biblical scenario in what they believe would be world threat, but in reality it would be something else. The official collapse of the central banking system and the switch of the quantum financial system is foreseen. A jubilee year of some kind, debt forgiveness, restoration of funds that people don't yet know they have, and the launch of hidden technologies like Q-phones, free energy, etc. The Odin project is part of Quantum Starlink, and new quantum systems are to be protected by secret space programs out of reach of the click. Europe. At the moment, there is a cleanup in Switzerland. All tunnels are being flooded. The Spanish judiciary unanimously elects the two missing magistrates to unblock the Constitutional Court, César Tolosa and María Luisa Segoviano. The French receive vouchers for firewood due to the rise in the price of energy. Inflation hits organic products in Germany. 2022, a dark year for Europe. Energy crisis, popular demonstrations, and political instability mark life on the continent. The US sees Europe as subordinate to its economic policy against China, writes the Global Times. Australia suffers another setback in its space race as 2 launches fail. The UN urges the Taliban to ensure women's access to university. Economy. Santa Surfing Decode special report. The Black Swan event would be a shocking and unexpected change in the financial system. BlackRock Fund predicts, in quotes, the most painful recession in history in 2023. Economic slump. As we prepare to enter 2023, we find ourselves in an environment of high inflation at the same time as economic activities are slowing. A recently released Bloomberg survey found that 70% of economists believe a recession is looming in 2023. 99.5% of cryptocurrencies have gone to Chinese coins. Enter ISO 20022 coins backed by precious metals. Peter Schiff believes a crash is coming in January 2023, bigger than Lehman Brothers. Gregory Manarino thinks the debt market time bomb is ticking harder and faster again. In his view, the global economy is being wiped out by design. When does it hit the fan? Mike Maloney points to some alarming economic indicators that suggest we are heading for an event of historic proportions. extremists vandalized the US power grid. Russia will start buying more yuan in 2023. Russia's central bank doubts that it will be possible to recover from frozen assets. Russian senator proposes moving the UN headquarters from New York to the center of Greater Eurasia. Americas. The project of a common currency is reborn in South America so as not to be dependent on the dollar. Grandmothers of Plaza de Mayo find grandson 132 in Argentina. The human rights organization announced that they have identified another of the thousands of victims left by the dictatorship. A convent in Argentina becomes the center of scandals and denunciations. Two nuns in the Argentine city of Salta denounced the authorities of their convent for deprivation of liberty after they were not allowed to leave the cloister. In addition to the scandal, the religious order has also filed complaints against the Archbishopric of Salta for gender violence and investigations into irregular financial dealings in the convent. The Bolivian police arrest the governor of Santa Cruz, Luis Fernando Camacho. Ecuador experienced a 2022 shaken by insecurity and violence. Ecuadorians burned dolls of President Guillermo Lasso to bid farewell to 2022. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.